Welcome guys. Today we are going to begin from where we left. So from our previous session we left at variables and data types in C#. So we will begin today with operators. So what are operators in C#? So I'll just give you an example. Operators are just special symbols that perform some actions on operands. So in mathematics, the plus symbol do the sum of the left and the right symbol. That is the right numbers. So in some way, C# includes various operators for different types of operations. So to just show you how this works, so let's first define one of our variable. So int x is equals to 5. So we close this. Sorry. So just begin with that. So hope you can see my screen. Then int y is equals to 6. Then int z is equals to 5. And the good thing is whenever you just typing, then you are able to press tab and you actually get what you really want. So for z, let's assume you want to add x then plus y. So the value of z will be x plus y. So for our case it will be 5 plus 6. So we expect 11. So if we run our code here, just click there, then we don't have an output, sorry. So we will not get anything. So here we'll be having an empty output. So to get the value of z, so we just write in console, then we tab, then you can see we want to output a z as the value. So if we run, you will see that we have 11 as the sum of x and y. So operators are used to perform operations on variables and values. So the operator that has been used here is now the plus sign. So I'll just name for you the different types of operators. So in the example that you have given, we have used the plus operator to add together two values, that is x and y. So the value of z is as a result of x plus y. Then we have 11. So the value of z will be 11. Although the plus operator is often used to add together two values, like in the example we have just shown here, it can also be used to add together a variable and a value, or a variable and another variable. So for example, we can have int sum1 is equals to 100 plus 100. So this one you expect to have 200. So int sum2, just press tab, then we will take sum1 plus another, let's say 200. Then int sum3 will be sum2 plus sum1. So for this case, for our first case, we'll have 200 as the output. Then this one will be 200 plus 200. This will be 400 as output. Then this one will be 400 plus 400. This one will be, this is sum1, sorry. So this one sum2 is 400 plus sum1, which is 200. So this one will be 600. So to get the output, we can also try to run the code. So we can put here, we want sum1. Then we can copy this or even write. Don't like copying. Just write the code. That is sum2. Then press tab. Sum3. Then if we run our code, Yes, so we can see what we had indicated. So int sum1 is 100 plus 100, that is 200. Then int sum2 is sum1 plus 200, that is 400. And sum3 will be sum2 plus sum1, which is 600. So this will be the output for sum3. So these we have used the arithmetic operators. So these are actually a plus operator which falls under arithmetic operators. So arithmetic operators are used to perform common mathematical operations. These are the plus sign, which is used for summations. Plus sign, we have the minus sign, which is used for subtraction. We have the multiplication sign, which is used for multiplication of two values. Then division. So these are actually an example of arithmetic operators. So there are a lot of operators in C#. So the example we have just given are for arithmetic operators. So to show you another kind of operators, we have the assignment operators. So assignment operators is what we have just used above, but I'll just showcase down here. So for example, int x, then for us to assign value to that variable, then we will have x is equals to 5. So then to do this, let's just do this, is equals to 5. We had already defined this, let's say age. So then age is equals to 5. So these assigns the right hand value to the left hand variable. So we are now giving age a value 5. So this assignment, this is called an assignment operator, which is actually an equal sign. Then we have the compound assignment. So if we do this, if I want to add this age, assuming I want to add a 1 to the age of 5 to be 6. So what I can do, I'll take age, then plus, then plus equal, equal to 5. So this one will add, so if I just run console age, let's get rid of this code here. So if I just run this one, you see the output is 10. So it will take 5 plus 5. So it will actually add age, which has a value of 5, then plus 5, which is 10. So that is assignment operators. Then we have comparison operators. So comparison operators compare two numeric operands and returns true or false. For example, if age is that one, then I assign it to 7. Then I say int age 1 is equals to 8. So for comparison operators, I'll want to compare these two values. So for example, if I say, so our expected outcomes for comparison operators is actually true or false. So if I say bool greater is equals to age is less than age 1. So close that. So I want to output greater. So I want to see if age is less than age 1. So if I run this, you see it is true. So age is less than age 1, which is 8. So this statement is true. So this is how comparison operators work. So if we change here, we say age 1 is less than age, which is 7, 8 is less than 7, we'll see our output, which is actually false. So it is returning false. So then we have what we call equality operators. Equality operators checks whether two operands are equal or not. So for example, this is age 7 and age 1. So if I want to compare these two, I'll say, and it will always return true or false as well. It is the same as the comparison operators. So bool compare is equals to age is equal to age 1. So we want to know if age, so this one will actually compare these two values. So what we want to know is to get the value of, say, console dot compare. So we want to know is age equal to age 1? Is age equal to age 1? So this value will be either true or false based on this comparison that we will have here. So what will be the result? So let me just stop this and run again. Sorry. So I think there's something wrong. So comparison, just want to get this compare is equals to age. So right line compare. So this is how we do the comparison. So if you are comparing this, so comparisons, we compare two values, either now age is equal to age 1. So this one will return as a true or false statement. So so you can actually do this like in a statement. If age is equals to that one, then what you can do is console a, then you indicate, we say age, this one plus is equals to, then you do that age 1. So what we want to do is we want to print out this statement if age 7 is equal to age 8. Else, if this is not true, we want to print out this statement. We say age is not equals to age 1. So what the equality operators does is actually checks if these two are the same. So if we run this, you see it has said 7 is not equal to 8. So it has actually found that this statement is false. So it will run and execute this kind of code. So Boolean operators. So we have also Boolean operators, which actually checks reverses or even returns some Boolean expression. So you can actually check the operators and you can do a lot of examples with it. So what we can check further is the if else statements, what I've just introduced on this line of code. So we will now begin with if else statements. So what are these if else statements? So if else statements provides many decision making statements that help us that help with the flow of C program based on certain logical conditions. So if else statements will help you to control certain statements. So if else statement, so we have if statement, that is the C# if statement. So the if statement contains Boolean condition followed by a single or multi-line code block to be executed at runtime. So if a Boolean condition evaluates it's true, then the code block will be executed. So the syntax is you usually have if, then you provide the condition. This is the condition, guys. Then if that condition is satisfied, then it will execute this code block that we will be having here. So will be executed if the condition evaluates to be true. This must evaluate to be true. Then that condition will be executed. And just to showcase an example, we can define a variable here. We say int I is equals to 10, then int j is equals, let's just avoid this, we put here comma, then int j is equals to 11. Then we say if we are using if statement, if I is less than j, then we want it to execute this code block that will be here. So we tell it to write console.write, sorry, I is less than j. Then we close this line of code. So if I will be less than j, then this code block will be executed. So if we just run this, because we know 10 is less than j, then our code will actually execute. So you can see here, I is less than 10, then our code is executing. So that is it. So we can try also if we can write another code here. If I is greater than j, then we tell it to execute this line of code. We tell it to say I is greater than j. Then we close this. So if we execute this, sorry, so let's just comment this. So you'll find that it is not executing because I is not less than j. It is not greater than j. So that is it. So it will only execute the first line. This one will not be having any output. So if we want, so this one you will not receive any output, but this one you will receive an output. So that is how we use if statements. So if statements are used to actually provide a conditions before, if you want certain code block to be executed, if that condition is true, that is when we use if statement. So assuming we wanted to have an else statement, so we have if else. So how do we use if else? So if else, if we want this condition, if this condition is not true, then we give it another condition. So we'll have here else. So if that condition is not true, then we allow it now to execute this one. So at no point will we be having an empty output. So if this is I is less than j, so it will actually execute this line of code. So if we run this, so you see I is less than j. So if I change this to be j is less than I, which is not true, so this one will not be executed. So we will say j is greater than I. So we are expecting this line of code to be executed. So it will evaluate this line of this condition, j is less than I. So if it is true, then this is supposed to be executed, but it is not true. So what will happen? It will jump and execute this line of code. So if I just run this, so you see it has actually jumped. So we see we have f, that is j is less than I, which is not true. That is 11 is not less than 10. So it will not go and execute this line of code. But we have told it if it is not true, then proceed and execute this line of code. So it has actually given us j is greater than I. So that is how you use if else statements in C#. So multiple else if statement can be used after an if statement. It will only be executed when the if condition evaluates to false. So you can actually have if else statement as well. So here we can also have like if, another if, then we provide another condition. So we say else if, so it will check if j is less than I, it will jump, then it will come here and check else if j is greater than I, it will also still execute this line of code. So if we run it, you can see, so we have actually used an else if statement. So it will execute another this block. So it has actually this condition has actually evaluated to true. That's why we are having this line of code being executed. You cannot as well as have as many else if a condition. You can see you can write as many as you want, so with a lot of evaluations inside these. So you can do that. So that is how you use if else statements in C#. So comment down below in case you have any question, then we can be able to address it. So that is actually the operators in C#. So see you guys in our next video, and remember to subscribe.